time to the second parallel session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Welcome to the second parallel session of the International Conference on Civil Engineering Research. Before we start the presentation, I would like to inform you about the regulation in this meeting room. In order to avoid any disturbance during the presentation later, I would like to ask you to mute your microphone during all session. You can write all for your question in the Zoom chat, and I will read your question during the question and answer session. We give 10 minutes for each speaker and 5 minutes for question and answer session. Ladies and gentlemen, we will start with our first speaker. Please welcome Mr. Fathurizal Muhammad.
Yes.
Mr. Fathurizal Muhammad will present their research paper entitled Circular Lining Behavior Due to Earthquake Load in MRT Jakarta Underground Tunnel Area CP106.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Muhammad, time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wait. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, thank you for ICCR ITS for the greatest conference. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fathurizal Muhammad. You can call me Fatur. I'm master student of University Indonesia. Now I would like to present my research paper about mega project infrastructure in Jakarta. That is MRT Jakarta project, focusing in circular lining behavior due to earthquake load in MRT Jakarta Underground Tunnel Area CP106. This is my outline. Consists of 5 outline. First, preliminary. Second, literature review. Third, research method. Fourth, result. And 5 conclusions. First, we start from research background. Jakarta is a large capital city in Indonesia with a population of more than 10 million. Many problems occur therein, one of which is congestion and a very large population, so that rail-based public transportation is needed to unravel the congestion. Within taking the parameters of the soil and earthquake load, utilizing the basement by building underground tunnels is the direct solution for the development of breaking down congestion in Jakarta. So tunnel infrastructure is the best solution to break down the congestion in Jakarta. This is my research purposes. First, knowing the tunnel's ability to withstand axial force, bending moment, and oval deformation that work in static condition. And the second, knowing the tunnel's ability to withstand the maximum earthquake load received by the tunnel structure. Second, why Jakarta MRT tunnel is circular? There are various kinds of tunnel shape. One of them is a circle. By considering soft ground in Jakarta, a circular tunnel is a right choice to reduce the stress. Because for tunnels that have angles, the stress that occurs will be higher than a circular tunnel. This is static condition. I use a reference from Whitworth theory by considering three variables that is overburden, water pressure, and soil properties, and produce bending moment, axial force, and lining deformation. So in dynamic condition, I use Wang 1993 and Pengin 2000 in Federal Highway Administration and produce the circular lining behavior, that is bending moment, axial force, and lining deformation. And the third, research methods. The research location between Duku Atas Pedestrian Bridge until Duku Atas Station. The research data I got from the secondary data of PT Wijaya Karya and PT MRT Jakarta, and for primary data I took documentation. The data I use is BR21 Borlock data, which is dominated by clay and silt. This is soil parameter details. Soil parameters details consist of many tests. There are index properties and mechanical properties. For cohesion value and friction angle, I use Sorensen and Dunay correlation. This is tunnel lining detail parameter. We have outside diameter 7.3 meters and inside diameter 6.8 meters. So we have growing thick empty room in O in 0.25 meters in left side and right sides, and tunnel depth in 11.5 meters from ground level. This is application of earthquake load parameters. I use South Sumatra earthquake 2007, included PGA number from the USGS Geological Survey 2012. And South Sumatra earthquake has a peak ground acceleration around 300 centimeters per second square and has a moment magnitude 8.4 scala Richter. This is research flowchart. Firstly, item setting, literally study and software, primary data and secondary data, divided by two soil parameter and tunnel parameter. And I calculate actual force analyzing, bending moment, earthquake load, tunnel deformation, and divided by two numeric calculation using Plexus 2D and empirical calculation using static and dynamic, Merwood in LTA, and Wang and Penzin 2000. Result and discussion. This is our empiric method step matrix. Firstly, manual calculation divided by two, static condition and dynamic condition. Looking at them, Duku Atas pedestrian bridge until Duku Atas station. And the discussion, static condition has considered the overburden, the three variables, that overburden, groundwater level, and soil properties. Also, in dynamic condition, consider the four variables that adding the earthquake load PGA according PGA allocation that produce the circular lining behavior that is axial force, bending moment, and deformation. The result. This is bending moment based on static condition LTA 2002. We can see the we can see the bending moment is equal to 71.39 kN/meter, and axial force and lining deformation shows the 8.06 millimeter. That is still in safety zone of tunnel deformation. And then in the condition based on Wang 1993, we can see the deformation 15.95 millimeter. And then bending moment and deformation based on Penzin 2000 has a same value, and then has a bending moment that is equal to 44.91 kN/meter. This is numerical calculation Plexus 2D. The left side is soil profile, and the right side is groundwater level. We have 4.5 meter groundwater levels. And this is input staging numerical calculation, Plexus 2D. I put 3 input staging, that is first surcharge load, and the second excavation, and the third earthquake load. And this is the static final result. We can see the comparison between empiric and numeric. The numeric shown the circular lining behavior is bigger than empiric calculation. The lining deformation of empiric calculation equal to 8.06 millimeter, and numeric equal to 0.12 millimeter. That is still in safety zone lining deformation. In the circular lining behavior shows the compression of falling for the tunnel. The dynamic tunnel from empiric and numeric is not different enough. The both deformation show equal to 15 millimeters. This is the conclusion. The lining ability, which is assessed based on axial force, bending moment of all deformation due to static and dynamic load, is carried out in section BR21 in the CP106 area. So this can make the tunnel deformation greater than the static condition, which only consider overburden load and surface load. But from these two conditions, the important thing is tunnel deformation is still within the safe limit because it has a deformation value below 20 millimeters. So this is my reference, and thank you for attention.
Thank you, Mr. Fatur. Do you have any question to Mr. Fatur? Okay. Mr. Fatur, may I ask you something? Can you explain to me if you calculate with a pseudostatic analysis, is the result same with your result?
Okay. In pseudostatic methods,
do you analysis this method or not?
Yes, I am analytic.
Okay.
Empirical and numerical.
Yes.
So I can sorry. So this is I use the Merwood theory in Land Transport Authority 2002 because circular lining behavior considered the 3 variables of tunnels, that is ground pressure, second water pressure, and soil properties. The static condition is not considered the earthquake load, but that is considered the full slip condition, that is friction angle and cohesion. But in dynamic condition doesn't consider the friction angle, but only consider the earthquake load like PGA number or storm motion.
Okay. How we can convert to dynamic analysis to calculate pseudostatic in numeric method?
The different thing of static analysis and dynamic analysis in numerical method and peak ground acceleration. I use cases of South Sumatra earthquake that is peak ground acceleration around 300 centimeter per second square. That is the different thing in comparison in static condition. So if the like input staging like this, we can see the static condition only consider the structure sludge above the soil and the excavation, the step of the excavation. But the dynamic analysis using earthquake load, that is total multipliers that has input the acceleration.
Okay. In the Plaxis, you input about the data of earthquake.
Yes, acceleration data.
Okay, acceleration data. Okay, maybe if we not using Plaxis and maybe you calculate manual, or we don't have Plaxis, can you suggest how we can make how we can know behavior aligning if you don't have about earthquake? I mean for pseudostatic, you can convert. We not use dynamic analysis, but we analysis with a pseudostatic. Is the same result, maybe displacement or moment or another parameter maybe?
Honestly, in dynamic of numerical analysis and empirical analysis with Plaxis or not Plaxis, that is has input the acceleration data. But the different thing, I think, because the numerical analysis doesn't consider the the full slip condition.
Pak Ramfo tadi nyasar ke kelas.
Halo.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fatur, for your explanation. Okay, we don't have any more question. So, thank you, Mr. Fatur, for your presentation. Let's give applause to Mr. Fatur. And we continue with our second speaker, Mr. Muhammad Afif. Mr. Muhammad Afif will present their research paper entitled Stabilization of Soft Soil Using Admixture of Palm Oil, Boiler Ash, and Matos. Okay, Mr. Muhammad, time is yours. Thank you. Mr. Muhammad, can you hear my voice? Your microphone is mute. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Before my microphone is still mute by the host. Thank you. Okay, I'll start share screen. Can you see?
Yes.
Is my screen available? Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'll go to full screen now. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss Yudi, for giving me the opportunity to present my paper. The title is Stabilization of Subsoil Using Admixture of Palm Oil Boiler Ash and Matos. This research is done by me and my college, Rusli Ansah, Friski Irmadaya Tongga, and Balkis Azizah from Department of Civil Engineering, Lambung Mangkurat University, Banjarmasin in Indonesia. Okay. Okay. Allow me to give the slide background first. Subsoil is soil that has low bearing capacity and high compressibility. This often encountered including a low California bearing capacity value. And to overcome this problem, one of the solutions is by soil stabilization using palm oil boiler mill ash and Matos. Maybe some of us still didn't very know about Matos. I'll explain about Matos in the further slide. First of all, palm oil boiler ash is a waste produced by the processing of palm oil industry, and the use of palm oil boiler ash as a filler due to its pozzolan nature, just like fly ash or rest house ash, namely silica, which can function as a binder of the soil particle. And Matos itself is an additive from industrial products which is intended for soil stabilization. The purpose of this study is to determine the effect of adding palm oil boiler ash and Matos in terms of CBR value. Okay. Next, literature review. First of all, boiler ash is one of the waste material from palm oil processing industry, and it was widely available, especially here in Kalimantan, in Pelaihari Tanah Laut, Banjarmasin City. From the XRF analysis, the major component of boiler ash is silica oxide, followed by calcium oxide and ferrum oxide. Matos is an additive which functions to solidify and physical chemical stabilizer produced by PT Watukali Kapita Ciptama Yogyakarta. So Matos is a name of what is it? A chemical product by PT Watukali, especially intended for soil stabilization. Matos is in the form of fine powder material, consists from inorganic material composition, which has no odor, has a pH of 8.37, volume unit weight 2.35, and water solubility is 1 times 3. Matos works to improve the quality of road construction, especially, and at the same time reduce the cost requirements. Matos reacts with soil and cement hydration reaction mixed to produce complex binding particle. The soil becomes a strong framework and makes a stable layer. For the application of the Matos itself is very simple. First, the soil will be mixed with Matos, and then dredge and stir until it reaches a homogeneous condition. The water added is the water added to the mixture according to the count to achieve the OMC. So in order for Matos to work maximally, the soil need to be in the optimum moisture content condition. Within the first 24 hours, the reaction of Matos with soil has taken place, and within the first 7 days, most chemical reactions have been completed. But because of the nature of Matos itself, chemical reaction will continue for a period of a year. In terms of soil stabilization, Anwar Muda already conducted a study on increasing the unconfined compression strength of clay soil after adding Matos to stabilizing sand and cement. In this research, for the methodology, The soil sample was taken out in Banjarmasin area at Gubernur Sarkawi, Gambut. The palm oil boiler ash, or we can also say its fiber, obtained from PT Perkebunan Nusantara 13 Pelehari Palm Oil Mill. The Pelehari Tanah Laut is just a filler, so mostly the problem is within the Matos itself. It is our first research using Matos, so I'm sorry we still searching about what caused this. Thank you. I hope it enough.
Question? Okay. Explanation. Okay, please, Christian. Oh, okay. Christian, unmute.
Okay.
Okay, Christian, please.
Okay. Can you hear my voice then?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I saw from your presentation that you mainly focused on CBR test to measure the bearing capacity because of the addition of several products, let's say. And what do you think of the I mean, perhaps we can expand more because there are some anomalies as already highlighted by the other presenter, let's say.
Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Christian, thank you very much for the question. Yes, for this part, we focus on the CBR because the purpose of Matos itself, written in the manual, is for road pavement stabilization. But actually, we have, yes, as you suggested before, we may prolong our research by testing it using soil or more, but I'm sorry we still hadn't conducted it yet. Maybe after this. Thank you very much.
Mr. Christian, it's enough or do you need more explanation?
Oh, okay. It's clear for me for now. Looking forward to seeing the results of the further research. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the support, Mr. Christian.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for Mr. Muhammad. We can continue, and before that, let's give applause to Mr. Muhammad. And we continue to the third presenter or third speaker, Mr. Surapart Kaisawasfong. Mr. Surapap will present the research paper entitled Pull-out Capacity of Cylindrical Kaesong in Anisotropic Clays based on AUS Failure Criterion. Mr. Surapap, time is yours. Wait a minute. Oh. There is not Mr. Surapap in here. Okay. We continue to another speaker, Mr. Danar Aryangga will present their research paper entitled The Effect of Skirt Footings for Road Settlement on Pit Soil. Mr. Danar, time is yours. Wait a minute, I will unmute. Okay, please,
Can you
Mr.
hear me?
Dana. Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity that given for me. Today, I would like to present about my paper with the title "The Effect of Scout Footings for Road Settlement on Pit Soil." My name is Dunar Aryangga, and I'm come from Universitas Indonesia. I will start with the introduction. As we all know, that Indonesia is located on the equator line, with the majority of the soil is pit that spread out in 8 provinces out of 34 provinces. The area of pit soils in Indonesia is 14.9 million hectares. In Borneo Island itself, the total area of pit soil is 4.8 million hectares. In the certain point in central Borneo, the total area for pit soil is 2.7 million hectares. As we all know that the construction on the territory of pits becomes quite difficult challenge due to the nature of pits, which has a high value permeability, along with the major consolidation that took place very quickly. The next one I will describe about scour footing. Scour footings are known to increase the bearing capacity on the soil foundation on the soil that have low bearing capacity. According to Wang et al. At 2006 and then continued Randolph et al. At 2011, circular footings or bucket footings or suction cushion commonly used in the offshore oil in the gas industry. While according to Kelly et al. At 2006 and 2008 and then continued by Joseph and Anderson in 2006, the scour footings work system is to make the soil as a unit to channel the burden of the structure above it to a stronger ground and increase the ability to withstand the overturning loads. This is the figure 1, the picture of scour footings. Actually, scour footings is constructed by 2 main parts. First thing on the top is circular footings, and then below it there's a skirt cover below the circular footings. I'm going to explain a little bit about pre-construction method on pit soils. Normally, there are some methods for a pre-construction method, such as replacing pit or maybe replacing pits on site, and we call it in situ. There's a method that called preloading that usually used in pre-construction method that aims to accelerate the process of primary consolidation on pit soils and also to create the condition for consolidation on pit soils. According to Monroe 2004, the pit soil metric will change under load, which will reduce the permeability and compressibility with the resultant value of the shear strength increasing. Because of that introduction, I will make the problems into 2 parts. First, to investigate the effect of scour footings against the consolidation of the pit soil, and second, to investigate the effect of scour footings for the embankment stability. Here's my methods. I use my research using the help of software Plexis. The material properties come from the drill log and soil data from Bukit Rawe area. Actually, there are 3 dominant layers from the drill log. First is sand layer with the depth of 0 until 2 meters, and second with pit layer with the depth of 2 meters until 10 meters. Third is the deep sand layer with depth of 10 meters until 18 meters. In the modeling of Plexis, I use 2-dimension Plexis. In the second, I use the axis symmetry modeling to find out behavior of scour footings under embankment pressure. And third, use static load as a replacement of embankment load to the soil. To help stabilize it better, a 1 meter soil deep down under embankment is raised in OCR value. 7, there are 16 variations of scour footings used in Plexis. The variation of diameters and the variation of length. And 8, as the comparison of scour footings, I will use the mini pile and unscoured footings as a comparison for the result footings and try to investigate the differences. 9, the space between soil foundation is 1 meter. And 10, to ensure scour footings do not move during loading, a steel strap is used as a binder between scour footings. In Plaxis step calculation, I use the same step calculation for all 3 types of cellular footings. They are, first, I will investigate the consolidation of 5 days, and then second, I will investigate the consolidation of 365 days to see the behavior of embankment in the year. Third, I will try to calculate the consolidation of minimum pore pressure, and the last is I will try to calculate the stability value of the embankment. The third chapter is the result and discussion. Before we know the effect of skirt footings for the embankment itself, the test of the original soil train model for the embankment nodes. As the result, the deformation at 5 days is 137 millimeters. 169 millimeters with the value of stability at 1.372. And this is the result of skirt footings with the variation of 4 variation in length and 4 variation in diameter. In figure 3, there's the field work of skirt footings in Plaxis 2 dimension with the result in variation, but in general, the bigger diameter that used as skirt footing, the less deformation that occurs in soil. This is the general deformation and total deformation in Plaxis. Pattern of the deformation, there are several things to do, like if you divide by diameter, this is the graph to show. First, in skirt footing with diameter is 1 meter, and then skirt footing with 2 meter until the diameter with 4 meters. And for this type of graph, the deformation with less happen still in the diameter with 4 meter of skirt footings. This is the graph to see the effect of variation in the length of skirt footings on soil deformation from quite interesting fact that the deformation at the diameter of skirt footing at 2 meters is still the lowest one. Here's the result of unskirted footings. I want to know the effect of length in the skirt footing, so I try to investigate in unskirted footings, and the result like quite interesting. And this is the graph to show the difference between skirt footings and unskirted footings from figure 12 until figure 13. In figure 12, the deformation at 365 days. It shows that the deformation that happened in unskirted footings more bigger than the skirt footings. But the interesting part is in the diameter 1 meter from skirt footings, the deformation is much bigger than the unskirted footings. From figure 14 until figure 15 shows the effective stress that happened in both types of cellular foundation. As you know, the effective stress is commonly used as a signal for deformation. As we can see, the deformation, the effective stress from unskirted footing is quite small against the effective stress from skirt footings. I use Minipile as a comparison because from public works department, surface department, have a guideline, the soil improvement for of pit soil for road embankment construction with the number of PB T-11-2005-B using stabilization cement and wooden pile. To compare the result of skirt footings method with wooden pile and cement methods from public works department, wooden piling was replaced with Minipile to adjust the current field condition, and the cement was not used as a stabilizing material, but was replaced by consolidation ratio of the original soil increase. And here the figure of field work from Minipile, and the result was quite magnificent. For the scale of deformation is quite small. In figure 17 until figure 18, it shows the large amount of different from deformation from Minipiles and skirt footings. But the one thing that interesting me, how to the shallow foundation hold the load from the embankment. In figure 19 until figure 20 shows the vertical deformation that hold up by shallow footings. In figure 19 is a vertical deformation from many piles spread out into different layers, but in figures 20, there are the vertical deformation at good footings. The load that caused by the load embankment hold up in the area where the stabilization soil is located. For the conclusion, the main focus of this research is to investigate the effects curve of footings on differential settlement and stability, which the result show the embankment stability goes up with the help of skirt footings. The function of skirt wall under the footings is to hold the load from the embankment and distribute evenly to the soil around skirt. It shows where the compression between skirt and unskirt footings. And third, the function of scalar footings is to help the settlement of the soil evenly and to place the load area around the stabilization soil. This is happen where the mini pilot and skirt footings compression. I think that's all. Thank you. Is there any question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Danar. Do you have any question?
I ask Bu Yudi.
Okay, Bu Nur.
Okay. I'm sorry that I just come back because I have problem with my Zoom. No voice at all, so I couldn't listen anything. Okay, the question, I think it's a good idea for that kind of a skirt footing. My question is there any specific, what is that? The slope of the skirt and the depth of the skirt. Is there any definition like that? That's all for you. Thank you.
Okay. Please, Mr. Danar.
Okay, thank you for the question. In the Praxis modeling, actually there are plenty of things that I would to describe, but in the short time and because the limit of the time, so I will try to minimize it. I hope it helps. Like in the Praxis modeling in number 4, it said that to help stabilize it better, 1 meter soil deep down under the embankment is raised in the OCR value. As we can see in figure 2, here the stabilized soil located, and where the location of this cut footing is directly under the location of stabilization soil. For the slope of the skirt footings, in my opinion, it is a 0 degrees slope for
So it's been like a vertical or something like that?
Doesn't move. I try to strap with steel strap. Thank you.
Bu Nur. It's clear enough, Bu Nur.
Sorry, there is a problem again with my Zoom, so it just disconnect suddenly. So it's mean that there is no slope for the skirt, so just vertical.
Yes.
Just like
yes,
that.
Just vertical.
So why do you okay? In my opinion, if you what is it? You name it with the skirt, it means that there is like a slope or something like that. It's not like that, right? So it's vertical. So why
Yes.
you call it skirt?
Okay. Why I call it skirt? Actually, I got two different names for it. First thing is like confined footings, but I do research in the others, the overseas. A lot of the researchers call it skirt, just like to confine the soil below it, just like a bucket, but you turn it upside down.
Oh.
I don't design it like any different angle with the skirt to avoid the possibility of cracking from the soil pressure. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You feel the with the soil.
Inside the skirt, there's a hole that will cover it with soil inside it.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any question for another audience? Okay, because okay, before I finish this session, thank you for your sharing, Mr. Danar. Because all speakers have presented their papers, so the parallel session second is finished. But before we finish our session, please kindly turn on your video so we can do the virtual photo session.
Again, Bu Yudi?
Yes, because this is different session, Ibu.
Okay.
Pak Mustain,
I missed
where are you?
3 speakers.
Yes, only 3 speakers. Mrs. Han Amelia. Mrs. Amelia, wait a minute. Okay. Ibu Ria, do you still here? Bu Amelia. Okay. Okay. I count until 3. We prepare. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay, finish. Okay, thank you for your participation. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.